I think there's a lot of governance Microsoft is helping you with was necessary. I mean, we're doing security business. We have a lot of people taking care of customer equipment, customer infrastructures, hybrid infrastructures, and it's not only like the firewall. It's the governance. It's the whole thing. Find a way how you can deal with it, with everything around it, and that's maybe like having frameworks. But I guess it's not possible to have one security framework that fits to everybody. We're glad because we have a lot of knowledge in that space.
in that space with security and compliance.
Yeah,
I, one of the things that comes to my mind is, we talked about onboarding a user or an employee. I find it also the offboarding. When somebody leaves the company, how are you able to remove access to? It's not just one tool these days, right? You have like 100, a typical organization probably uses at least 30 software tools, Canva to Adobe to Microsoft. There are like, even for a company like ours, if we look at all these SaaS softwares that we are using, it's mind boggling. And multiply that with the number of employees that they come and go. How do you guys manage this? Because I'm kind of expecting your customers are expecting you to take care of these type of business processes as well, right?
absolutely right. It's worse doing offboarding than onboarding, because if you're onboarding somebody, he will always complain that he does not have access and he needs access.
Right.
But if you offboard somebody, there's nobody's complaining. So you need
Hmm.
to have to make sure that you have a proper business process offboarding which covers everything, maybe role based, so you know where to offboard. And on the other hand, try to find a way how you could reduce the number of necessary steps. So if you're trying to have like a central identity management with role-based access where you can just pull out the user and then it takes away, it's single sign-on. If you're offboarding from ServiceNow, from Salesforce, from HubSpot, whatever, it's easier if it's the user is managed centrally, but it would not every time work. So it's not like, okay, we're going to use Entra and we're using it for single sign-on and we're offboarding him, and then you have like a dozen of applications which are not connected in any way and cannot leverage external identity provider. So you need to keep track. You need to have like systems helping you with these
Right.
processes.
Definitely, I think that's something where we believe, software and tools like HYBR can help set up that processes and kind of trigger various events to various SaaS marketplaces or other legacy systems where, hey, you click one button that offboard this user, and you are able to orchestrate what are those processes that needs to happen.
Yeah,
Okay, unassign the license in Microsoft Partner Center, and then remove the access in GitHub, remove the access from, I don't know, Nvidia, some run AI account, open AI account. There are, so we kind of believe that even as a software vendor tool, we will be successful if we are able to have HYBR or anybody building such platform to be able to help customers, businesses like MediaLine to serve their end customers business processes, to automate them as a whole, not just individual things. And offboarding has been a pain for me as a, a business owner. When I go and look at something like, man, that guy left the company 2 years ago, why is he still having access to one of those GitHub
yeah,
repositories? Right.
yeah.
So definitely offboarding is a pain, and if you don't have a processes and tools set up properly, you can easily become non-compliant soon, right?
Yeah, with Microsoft, for example. So if you can
Right.
see there's a under usage of the purchased licenses, you could like raise a warning or whatever. But
Yep.
we're talking about AI. I mean, Cloud Azure or HYBR is built for hybrid management. We could think about setting up services, AI services, which our customers can purchase through AI, and maybe it's even user based. So you can buy like 10 users AI chat agent. And
Very true. And I think one is this type of user license assignment, the utilization, like you said, HYBR already has these type of reports, dashboards where you can see unassigned licenses and you can send emails for unassigned licenses. This also brings up this other point about the cloud spend, from the customers, right? Even for us as a company, it's super easy to have thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars just going unused cloud spend. It is unassigned licenses are one part, but then there are not just with O365, it's with a lot of subscriptions, and especially with cloud, Azure, AWS, GCP. Are you seeing this as a concern for your customers? How are you handling it?
I guess it's pretty manual. I mean, we see a lot of customers they are lacking tools to track what they're using, like asset management, SaaS, to collect all this data and then try to combine it and to run it against your user base. I don't see too many tools being able of that. Or you have a bigger customer, they have different tool sets. I mean, we're dealing with a mid-sized business, maybe up to 5,000, 10,000 users. I think it's a matter oftentimes they're lacking software to track this. They wouldn't just know. And it's the same with Azure. They're trying to see the amount of the invoices and figure out if anything changes, if it suddenly goes up, then something might have happened. But it's hard to govern the usage in the cloud in Azure because to initiatives, tools, to whatever, most of the companies are still way beyond this point where they could really see who is generating which invoice.
And d- do you see a role for MSPs and CSPs like you to have a role in this, to kind of have certain processes or set up the tools so that you can help customers manage their spend? Because it's easier to get into this, hey, if make the it's not long term helping the customers, right? So how do you see the MSPs and CSPs can help in this area? Or should they help, or should they just stay back? I mean, the answer is obvious, but then what incentives do you have to go and tell the customers, hey, you are spending $1,000 extra, additional that you could save?
We're always telling customers if we see they're spending too much. I mean, it's a matter of trust, and
Right.
why would you want to get money for something they're not using? I mean, there's a lot of money, there's a lot of work to do, and it's better
Right.
to spend the money for the right thing. I guess where we can help, and that's what we're
Eh,
doing since ages, that we are taking responsibility from customer
right.
and delivering through managed services. So if you're not like selling single transactions, selling pieces of software, but delivering workplaces, for example. I mean, we're charging them for the whole workplace. Consists of hardware, software, and everything, and maintaining it. So they need to keep track of the number of users they have, and it makes it much easier for us. It's important that we are not supplying too much because we have to pay for it, and we get the same amount either if we undeploy, if we reduce licenses or not, we always get the same amount. So it's up to us to keep track of it, and maybe that's the best way. You don't need to trust to your supplier.
And like you said, in short term you may be able to make a little bit money, but like you said, the catchword here is the trust. they are coming to you because they trust you, so you have to earn the trust and keep the trust. And one of those things I see when I look at these businesses, the one of the easiest way to earn trust today is to highlight the waste, because a typical organizations waste about 30% of their cloud spend is going to waste. There are a lot of
Yeah.
studies over last few years. Every year I look at those studies. Last year it was 25% wastage. This year there's 30% wastage. It's not going down because it has become super easy to spin off
Yeah.
databases or websites or even accounts. So you are absolutely right. Trust is the key word here. You want to, and I believe it's one of those looks obvious easiest way. You go tell the customer, boss, you are giving me like $1,000 more, give me less. Then it becomes a conversation. Hey man, like I didn't think about this, you thought about it. So he is going to give you more business. So in the long run, earning the trust is the important aspect, especially for managed services business, like you said.
Yeah, right. I mean, we want to be the trusted advisor. I mean, that's something everybody is telling, but in the end, that's it. We want to help customers to develop, to go the next step. We need budget for that. And keeping the budget in a place where you don't generate any value. And in the end, nobody wants to sit there and tell the customer after 3 years, yeah, right, where you were spending like $300,000, but for nothing.
Right. Yeah, because somebody is going to catch it, if not now, in 2 years, some smart guy is going to come, why are we spending this 300K here? What are we getting out of it? So it rather, it should be you than somebody else pointing it out.
Right.
Very true. I think in that aspect, with tools like HYBR, because we are able to get data from variety of these sources, not just Microsoft Office 365. You can get all the utilization data from usage consumption data from Azure, AWS, GCP, and also the hybrid cloud. So you can get all the data from your vCenter, OpenStack. I think it's kind of where all these things are coming together, getting this visibility and then generating alerts and monitoring out of it. It's We have everything from in terms of technology usability, implementing it for the customers. So that's kind of the name of the game now, I believe, for tools like HYBR and managed services like yours, where you don't just put trusted advisor in the website, you follow through with actual actionable tasks, and then you do it not 1 year, every year, every 3 months, 6 months, you do it every day. Every day they are able to come to a dashboard and see, or they don't even have to come to the dashboard. Ideally it all automatically takes is taken care. That is the nirvana that we want to reach, right? If employee leaves, at the end of the day we generate a report saying, hey, you don't have to do anything, customer. We have removed access from all these places. We unassign the license. Now we have this extra license available, and this is going to be turned or cancelled if it is not used within another 2 days. you know that's kind of the nirvana that we want to see happening.
Yeah.
I believe, with respect to HYBR, from the technology standpoint, we have all the building blocks, and we have, I feel like, somewhere between 60 to 70% of these are easy to achieve. But to go to that really ideal place, it's not going to be easy, or it can happen easily with every customer. But the more we demonstrate, hey, your life can be this much easier, because people are with this idea that things has to be created as a ticket. The ticket triggers the service now, and then somebody looks at it, approves. It's this kind of a 20-30 year old mindset that we have to break, and then say, hey, you don't have to do these things. Your life can be much more easier. Like you said, you, tools like HYBR saved 5 days. You have 5 more days in your life every month to utilize for something
I
else.
don't feel like I have, but yes.
I know, because the as soon as you have an empty plate, things gets piled up, right?
Right.
That's one of those things. In a company, the most smart, hardworking people will always get more work because they are able to get done more from their plate, right? So That is always there, but I'm sure we are all smart enough to take it to our advantage, to work on the next level of our career, or instead of working inside the business, we are able to work on the business. And I can see from you, Stefan, that from the time we met, instead of getting boggled down by all this transactional stuff, you went one level up, and you are able to think from more from
Exactly.
a business perspective, future things. I'm happy to see that, and I like this word that you repeat many times. You don't want to be the advisor on the transactional stuff. You don't want to deal with the everyday transactions. You automate the heck out of it. You go and operate at the higher level. I like that a lot from our conversations. That's a great way to how to summarize this whole automation part. When people talk about automation, it's not just doing some scripting or orchestration or stitching some tools. It's more of, am I inside the business, or am I coming out and think a little bit, have the breathing room to think about what can I do that the customer will see as a real value, not just as a script automation company or team.
Yeah, exactly. Like you asked me, when would I think this would happen, like having agentic frameworks and
Yep.
architectures for me tomorrow. So free me from all transactional stuff, repeating stuff everybody could do,
Right.
and let us work on things that can bring us further, where we can do more. Like
Very true.
Satya said that, do less with more. So that would be more
That
with
would be the
less.
mantra.
Less
Yeah,
with
do less
more.
with more customers.
Yeah,
That's a fantastic tagline. We could use it for hybrid. Do less with more customers, right?
exactly.
So, what do you see as these other MSPs and CSPs doing as a mistake that they could change, like today, to become more successful or to become more future proof? The automation part that we thought about, from the market trend, from the business side, what things that you see like a typical MSPs are still not getting it? If they only do this one thing, they can go to the next level in their business or grow to the next level. What type
That's
of advice you would give to a MSP and CSP?
down. I have managed service. It's still very customer specific. The needs are very customer specific. So always listen to your customer, what he's telling you, what he thinks he needs, and try to figure out how to deliver that. In the end, it's always, if you want to automate, you need to standardize. But I think the first thing is to understand what a customer really needs, and then try to figure, like in the third, fourth step, figure which parts of your offering you can use for that and how you can evolve your offering. And then later on, if you can standardize, then automate it. I mean, there are parts of our business which are pretty straightforward, and you can offer it. But oftentimes, there's a lack of understanding of the customer needs. One very important thing is, if you figure that there's something that is done repeatedly, try to find platforms that take it from you. And like, I mean, the best experience was with HYBR to transform our Microsoft business. Customers happy, we're happy, less work, more customers, and quality is good. So that's maybe the better part. Try to understand your customer and try to get rid of all these transactional things, like you said. I've been repeating that a few times now.
No, it's good because that kind of resonates with you, and that's kind of important aspect of mindset change from thinking at a transactional level versus at a bigger picture level. And how do you actually make it actionable? Because we all read the same articles and same books. It says you have to operate on the business versus inside the business, but then we all get sucked into this day-to-day transactional things. Unless you automate that away, you are never going to operate on the business or outside the business, or one level up. You are still
Yeah,
going to be the first step in you and any one of us understanding how you can make your life so that you can operate little above or on the business, think about the future. You need to create the breathing room. If you are dealing with the transactional stuff, that's why I like that the term that you are repeating. It's worth repeating every time, like you mentioned. So it's great. And I think this point about don't get hung up on the automation either. First understand the customers and don't try to push everybody into the same mold. You create, you have to treat everybody as in a specific customer with specific needs, understand them, talk to them. I think in that aspect you leverage the automation, but then you provide focus, individualistic, tender love and care, as if they are the only customer, right? That's where the balance of how do you make time so that anytime you talk to the customer, you know exactly what they are going through, so you are able to offer them really valuable advice, not just dealing with, hey, I submitted this ticket for creating this 10 licenses, what happened? That's you don't want to deal at that level.
Yeah. I think it all comes down to what you need to do in any business. I mean, that's not like service provider business, MSP business, and that's the part I'm trying to do. You need to create like an operational backbone that is really rock solid. It works. It's like a spine. It doesn't break. Everything is running, and transaction stuff is running through your operational backbone. It's coming in. It's running through. It's coming out somewhere. And if you're ready, if your backbone is ready for these transactions, then you can start using platforms, building offerings, maybe digital offerings. Maybe, I mean, would be a great thing to have like a digitalization platform for customers or things like that. But you create it on top of something that you have to have
Right.
first, and that means connectable systems, APIs, connections, integrations, and then let things run through that invoicing, hire to retire, whatever, invoice, purchase to pay, whatever you're doing. I mean,
Right.
these are basics. They're not different from company to company. If they are working, you can set anything on top of that.
Definitely, that makes sense. Having a strong backbone foundation, and then you build your offers, your marketing strategy, everything on top of it. I think it goes from that priority. Without the strong foundation of having these systems and processes in place, even if you get 1,000 customers, you're not, either you're going to burn out sooner,
Yeah,
or you're not going to be having happy customers, right?
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes we tend to think about our core processes, how we implemented them like 30 years ago, that this is what differs from others, and that's our unique selling point, that we are, I don't know, running a standard business in a different way, customized, but it doesn't add any value, not for us, not for our customers. So get rid of that.
Definitely. It's a good insight, Stefan. Thank you. So, how do you keep yourself updated? Do you read books, podcasts? What type of books have you read recently?
It's always hard to finish a book for me, but that's maybe a personal thing. Like for me, it's hard to listen like an hour and then wait until there comes the point. And so I'm always fast forward and checking that. I'm reading a lot in different sources, internet, and sometimes I need a bigger book or read a thick one to get like a structure again, and then you can build on the next one. And doing a lot
Right.
of trainings and just fast forward through training gives you a lot for AI because there are a lot of sources, there are a lot of things you have to understand. So you couldn't read one book about how to deploy models, one book on how to train a model, and it needs to go fast. So you get a core
Uh,
understanding.
Very true. And there are also a lot of information about AI, like, because it kind of exploded. Everybody is trying to come up with something on the AI. So, in terms of business or personal development, have you read any books that in the last few years that you can mention?
There are heaps of books, but for like in business, technical books and understanding. It is, I need more faster reading. I need more sources, so I'm just collecting everything.
So how can our audience connect or learn more about Media Line offerings and the work that you guys are doing? Where can they come and learn more?
First step would obviously be the web page. If you go to medialine.com, you can see
Okay,
our things about our company, our offerings, our portfolio. And I mean, I'm always happy to talk to anybody who is interested in hearing more about what we did, what the two of us did already and achieved. And
right.
yeah, so
That's fantastic. So
reach out on
what type
LinkedIn
of
at any time.
people can reach out to LinkedIn? Makes sense. So what type of services that you guys offer? Just to summarize, if somebody is interested in what type of services you guys offer.
We have a really a broad range of services. Um, we developed from the classical guy selling hardware and software, like a PC or a laptop, and then later on selling servers and Windows OS on it. Pretty soon, we set up first entities in a data center and started selling cloud computing back in 2008, I think it was. And from there on, we developed. We added business solutions, software like CRM, ERP, networking, communication solutions, security solutions. So today we're selling like everything you would need to run a company. If you take a data center,
Fantastic.
you open up the top and you just pour it out. Everything what comes out, you could buy, but you can also just take the data center as it is and book it as a service. And we're very flexible. So we developed a good methodology, enable managed service for anything and to let you scale whatever you need to have managed or to buy what you want to buy and manage yourself. Yeah.
Fantastic. So you provide end to end, full package of managed services, whether buying from hardware, onboarding your employees, the entire IT systems, procurement, management, the whole 9 yards. That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
exactly.
That's great. So if you want to give one single most important takeaway from this conversation for the audience, what would that be?
Be cautious when you pick any platform you want to work with. So be
Hmm.
sure that it is open enough and there's a good vision behind, so you don't get stuck at half of the way. So our experience in CSP was, yes, we need something. I mean, first step was we need something to build our Azure Tech Hubs, but the real initiative was how do we deal with NCE? But we knew that this is not only about NCE. We can go further, and that is really important. Whenever you pick any platform, be sure it's open and be sure it develops and you can later on bring more services, change your service, use it, leverage it to bring more services to the market. Maybe that way.
No, that's fantastic. Yeah, I think you don't want to be limited by the choice you made 1 year ago, 2 year ago, because now you have new needs. And if the platform did not evolve or does not support the growth and the scaling that you need, then you're always going to be limited, not by your vision, not by your own desire to grow. It is by the choice that you made 1 or 2 years ago. So I am with you on that. Picking the right platform that can grow and scale with you, and not only scale with you, it helps you to push you leap
To
ahead.
be the only guy running around thinking about how future could be, it's great to have people who are capable to you and you know ideas are coming out of
Right.
conversations. If you're dealing with smart people, with good people, then you can develop yourself further.
There is a synergy, right? So you basically, the platform should give you that synergetic energy where, hey, why am I not doing that? Can I do that? Can I do
Yeah.
this? Fantastic.
Very much talking to you all the time. And, that is what gives me a good feeling. it's always people business. We've evolved to
Very
SaaS, and you can acquire software through internet, even enterprise software, but it's always about people that brings you
very
from.
true. I think, yeah, that's kind of, I like that with in this business, we have growth, we have different challenges, but then whenever I get into a call with you, Stefan, it kind of, it's great to have such conversations because it kind of motivates each one of us, and the resonating ideas. There are thousand things that we could do, each one of us can do, but understanding what you are seeing at the ground level with the customers and then translating it into the roadmap of the product, that's kind of exciting, especially in these times. Out of thousand things that you and me can do, how do we narrow down to this 10 things out
Yeah,
of which make something useful for the customer? So it's always a great conversation to have with you, Stefan, and thanks for joining us today and sharing your experience with our audience in this podcast.
likewise. Thanks for having me here. It was a pleasure talking to you, as always.
Fantastic. Thank you. Definitely.